Mommy. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 money lessons that I've learned from my Nigerian mother. And I know that as millennials and Gen Zs, we like to believe that, we know a lot more. We have a lot more resources at our disposal. We have the internet, we have better ways of learning and all of that. So we kind of like to believe that we are more woke than the previous generation, which I don't entirely think is true. I think that as long as they were here before us, as long as they've experienced a lot before our coming, there's definitely a thing or two to be learned from them. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 very crucial money lessons that I've learned from my Nigerian mother. Lessons that will help you, go through life and will make your personal finance journey a lot more better. So if you're interested in getting this wisdom from someone who has been here longer than you have and has probably experienced a lot more than you probably would have at your age, you definitely want to stick around and watch this video. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Antwiwaa if you are new here, and if you're returning, what's up my G? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 very important money lessons, very crucial money lessons that I've learned from my Nigerian mother. And if you have African parents, you know that our parents have a very interesting way of teaching us. So grab a seat and let's go straight into these lessons. And before we get into these lessons, I would like to put this out there. If you find this topic triggering, if you grew up without a mother or you lost your mother along the line, so you find this topic a little bit triggering, it's okay to click off at this point. I'm going to be saying mother a lot of times, during the video. So if it's something that is triggering to you, I apologize. But I think that in order to preserve your mental health, it's okay to click off this video at this point. But if you're still here and you want to learn the things I have learned from my mother, I would like to say that look at it this way. I'm going to be sharing a piece of my mother with you in this video, so you can consider her, an internet auntie or, a third or second mother to you. So yeah, I really needed to put that out there. But now that that's out of the way, let's get straight into these lessons. Lesson number 1 is to make sure that you're saving or putting money aside for rainy days. And this is something that I've watched my mother do throughout my life. From as far back as I could remember, this woman will always put money aside for rainy days. And currently, I live in Ghana with my siblings as well as my parents. And obviously from the title, you can tell that my mother is not a Ghanaian. So that meant that at a certain point in her life, she had to move here to Ghana with her family, right? And even though I was very young at the time, I saw this woman start and scale a business using the savings that she had put aside over the years working in another country. And all through our life, she has always encouraged us to save. She had always encouraged us to put money aside. Aside the times that visitors or uncles or aunties will visit and she would claim to keep the money for us. She has bought, piggy banks for us. She was always constantly trying to encourage us to save as we are growing up. And I think that no matter what stage you are in, no matter the amount of income you're making or the salary that is coming into your bank account every single month, no matter how small it is, always endeavor to put a little percentage aside in savings, because you don't know when, anything may happen. You don't know when you may need, that cash to do something. So yeah, definitely make sure that you're putting money aside, no matter the amount of money that is coming into your account at the moment. The next money lesson that I learned from my Nigerian mother is to always make sure that you're taking calculated risks. And I have seen her do this through her business. There are times that you don't know if a product is going to be successful, and you see her bet on whatever product it is, and eventually everything picks up and the product is doing well and she's making her profit. And I think that that's something that I picked up, because even though I try to tread cautiously when it comes to what I'm using my money for or what I'm investing my money into, I also have that little part of me that is willing to take some risks that are going to make a lot of money for me. And I think that if you are a young adult that is not open to taking any risk at all, I'm not saying that take your money and go and put it somewhere because I'm saying take risk, of course not. But I've learned that in order to make significant interest, in order to make significant leaps in whatever you're doing, it's very important that once in a while you take a bet on something, once in a while you take a calculated risk on something. And it's definitely a lesson that is going to help you all through your life. Another thing that she has told me is to be organized when it comes to my finances. So that means that you're budgeting, that means that you're putting money aside to invest, That means that you're putting money aside to do the things you love to do. And before our monies were easily accessible to us, our parents will usually have, a chunk of money at home that they're going to use for our daily expenses and all of that. And growing up, I've seen my mother, take all these monies aside and, kind of like draw a budget. So you know that this money is going to this money is going to that, this money is for the upkeep of the home, and this money is for this and this and that. If you're not new to this channel and you watch my How to Save, I think that's the title of the video, I share this trick that helps you, watch closely the amount of money that you're spending in order to be able to save more, which is the envelope method. And that's definitely something that I learned from my mother. I didn't mention it in the video, but I definitely learned the envelope method from my mother. I think that as young people, it's very important that we are very organized with our finances. If you want to be more organized, you can have a bank account strictly serving as your emergency fund. You can, have a certain amount that is going into investment. You can have a certain amount that's going into your monthly spending or your weekly spending. But taking all these extra steps means that you're a little bit more organized with your money. You're not just taking out from a certain account and not even having any proper inventory of what is going on with your money. If your goal is to save more, if your goal is to invest and grow your money, you stand a better chance as doing that if you're more organized with your money. This next lesson may not sit well with you if you don't agree with it, but the next money lesson that I've learned from my Nigerian mother is to always share. Always be open to giving people a helping hand when it comes to finances. And sometimes it even looks like, okay, why are you giving all our money away? Like, why does it look like there's not a lot to go around, but you're giving that away? And I know that we're obsessed with, our personal finance. We're obsessed with preparing for a better future for ourselves. I think most of us have seen the consequences of not having your finances in order. So we are very obsessed with making sure that we are doing all these things so that it can secure our future for us. And that means that we are not open to sharing our money with someone that may need help. And even though, yes, it's good to want to prepare yourself and cushion yourself for misfortunes and all of that, is also very, very important that you're putting money aside to help people out. Even if you're not Christian, even if you don't believe in the principle of giving and you shall receive, it is in nature. Every time you give something out, I'm not saying that the exact same thing will come back to you, but the more you give, the more you receive. So this next tip is one that I would carry with me for the rest of my life, and it is to always make sure that you're being a resource to the people in your life and not a burden. I've seen just as all of us go through ups and downs, I've seen my mom go through ups and downs in her life, and one thing that is really inspiring to see is how she is able to make the most out of what may seem like the worst situation ever. I see a good number of us going through, like, life is literally beating us up. I can understand going on Twitter and ranting about how the government is incompetent and how they're not, creating jobs and creating avenues for the youth to succeed. I can understand all of that. Ranting is good. Ranting helps you even mentally, with your mental health and all of that. But if you're just going to, stay in that position and just rant and not try to find solutions to the problem, or try to be resourceful where you are at the level you are and try to do something for yourself, no matter the circumstances or no matter the things that are working against you, then it is a problem. Of course, we experience all the negative things that are happening around us. We experience all the jabs and the blows. I recently made a video on adulting and surviving your 20s. If you want to check that out, I'm going to leave a link up here. But it was just generally a chit-chat conversation about how the kind of experience we expected as adults is entirely different from what we are being served at this point in our lives. And I think one way we have seen it manifest publicly in Ghana is the A1 story. There's this guy, came out of university, he wasn't getting a job. He opened a bakery and started producing bread. And one celebrity picked up the bread, put it on social media, like, just how we can just take pictures of stuff, put it on social media, and just like that, his business blew up. Now there's literally A1 bread in almost every city in Accra. And I think recently I found out in the news that they're even exporting this bread to other countries, to supermarkets in the US or other countries outside of Ghana, outside of Africa, which is insane to me. Like, it's absolutely insane. Imagine someone going from being an unemployed graduate to someone who has a business that is nationwide and now going outside the continent and more into the world. I mean, how amazing is that? Then the next money lesson that I've learned from my Nigerian mother is to make sure that you're putting time aside to enjoy the money that you're working really hard for, right? Don't get too caught up chasing the next big check, that you totally neglect yourself. You totally neglect providing things for yourself that you're interested in. And you've probably seen this in your mother, like all the times that she takes herself to the salon, or the time that she buys something nice for herself. And I think that is very, very important that I include this as part of the things that I've learned from my mother. We all have, these big goals. We all have this big, money aspirations. I want to retire at this age. I mean, just thinking about it is a lot to take in as a young adult. We have these big dreams and we just want the best for ourselves. But if you're not taking time out to enjoy the fruit of your labor, you're really working against yourself. Take time, enjoy your money, take care of yourself, do nice things for yourself, look good. And that alone is going to set you up and put you in a good space mentally to pursue all these financial goals that you have for yourself. If you watched the video up until this point and you've enjoyed it up until this point, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the channel a lot. And if you also want to share some money lessons that you've learned from, say, your mom or your dad, or a guardian in your life, definitely leave it in the comment section. I would definitely want to know what kind of lessons you've learned from watching your parents live their life, or lessons that your parents have actually pulled you and sat you down and taught you. I would be very glad to learn a thing or two from your parents as well, just as I'm sharing a piece of my mother with you. If you enjoyed the video, you definitely want to consider subscribing. On this channel, I share personal finance tips, personal development tips, and vlogs about how I'm living my life or navigating adulthood. So if that's something that appeals to you, you definitely want to subscribe. The red button right there, you definitely want to subscribe. Smash that red button and join our growing family. We recently hit 2,000 subscribers. So yeah, feel free to join our growing family if it's something that you're open to. And if you want to take it a bit further, you definitely want to share this video with a friend or a family member that you think may find the video helpful. If you enjoy this video, I'm very sure that you also enjoy one of these videos that are also on this channel. So definitely tap on one of these videos and I will see you over in one of these videos. Peace out.